Welcome back to the channel. I was going to say it's been a while, but I just looked at my YouTube studio and realized I uploaded a video like 3 weeks ago, so it's not been that long. But I have been kind of slack on doing the YouTube video updates about what's going on in the shop. So, going to try to do better now. But first of all, let's remind everybody, our Black Friday sale, our one-time-a-year sale, the biggest sale of the year, the only sale of the year, gives everybody dealer status basically. Rock-solid-motorsports.com. It starts this Friday, November 15th, goes through December 1st. Discount code Black Friday, all one word, no spaces. Make sure you check it out. 84 different products apply to that on our website. But the main reason for this video is I want to start a build series on a car that we've got a lot of history with. So let's check it out. So everybody remembers OMG Boost. This was my wife's car. She piloted this thing down to a 537 was her best time. Her best mile per hour was like 132, I believe. And this was a fully driven street car. She'd, take it out, random laps, go in town, drive around Walmart, get pulled over by the law. They'd want to look at it, wonder what the parachute was hanging off the back of the car, all that. But directions in life changed. She decided to get into something else. We sold the car to Mickey Hendren. Now he is a customer from Colorado, so way far out there, but he has his father and lives here, kind of local to us, so it kind of works out. He's back and forth all the time. But when he bought the car, he said, I want y'all to finish it just because it's got some sentimental value. I know that y'all will do it right, because it used to be yours kind of thing. So we're going to finish all the main things with the car. We're going to put the engine, transmission, turbo kit. We're going to lay out the fuel cell, organize the plumbing. We're not going to wire it, of course, because we're not going to deal with wiring. I think we're going to get Michael Bunton to wire it if we can navigate the schedule a little bit there. I've already touched base with him like way back and told him to kind of have it on the radar. So basically this car was sold to Mickey which you can go back in the videos and look, but I'll just refresh everybody. It's got pretty much all of the 25.5 in it. We did the Midwest chassis firewall, which everybody always asks me for pictures and all that stuff of one of those, so I'm kind of showing you how that goes. You wouldn't believe how many people we get messages from asking for visuals or still shots or something of where to cut or how to lay that out. So I'll try to show you some more details of that in some of the other videos, because there'll be plenty of videos on this. But as you know, we've got gutted doors, which I'm working on some carbon over there. I'll show you here in a minute. But it's already got all the Midwest chassis stuff under the rear. Viking coilovers, 7-inch stroke stuff. Got, their Fab 9. I'll jack it up in a minute because I got to show you something that we had to change right off. And it's something just to be aware of. That's just giving you kind of a look on the cage and stuff. Yeah, it's dusty. It's been sitting in a garage in the shop. It hadn't been touched since it was picked up here. So it's got all Midwest chassis stuff in the front. It had Burkhardt stuff in it originally. Well, whenever she drove it, it had all the factory front suspension. The coilovers was the only thing that was different, but factory K-member, everything. I think when she drove it, it was just under 3,200 pounds without her in it. So, race weight, it was in the 3,300 range. And it had a stock crank, rod and piston 5.3 in it. So let's jack it up. We've already started doing some stuff to it. Well, before I jack it up, I'll just show you the doors over here. Check out these TBM brakes on the Jeep. We just spindle mount wheels. Just got those put together today. The Jeep is door latches away from being done. It's a miracle. So working on the carbon door panels, this is the passenger door, but kind of got it laid out here. I got the other one traced out, but not cut out. But basically with an F-body door, this one's gutted just like the other one over there. But you can really lighten up the doors whenever you take the guts out of them like that. That was the kind of the purpose of our lift-off door hinge kit, which is also part of the Black Friday sale, by the way. But even though they will support a full weight door, the reason for doing them was so you could take the door off and, you know, get in the car, work on it, whatever, load it in the trailer, stuff like that, and still have a factory style door. So what I've done, we did cardboard templates, of course. I think it's laying over there against the wall, but we do cardboard templates and get it close. And then what I did, I cut the carbon out. I usually use an abrasive wheel, like a cutoff wheel or something, but if you've got a small enough piece, an upright bandsaw, if you just run it at real fast speed, that does really good as well. I really hadn't tried that until here recently, but it really works good and it's not near as dusty. So if you can fit your pieces in the bandsaw, that's definitely the way to go. But I got it rough fit, and I used this little oscillating sander here, and I just went down the edges until it started bumping against the original fiberglass of the door. Now this all is going to be painted, so I really wasn't concerned if I just barely bumped it a little bit like that. I was more concerned about just getting it slick around the edges and stuff like that. And this carbon, just make sure when you're sanding it, and I might have mentioned it before, but all these sanders rotate clockwise. Just if you're sanding it, make sure that it's going clockwise like that. Don't lay it flat and let the tail end of the sander grab the carbon, because if you do, it'll pow, you know, it'll grab it like that and it'll mess it up. It'll leave a really rough spot where it's grabbed it and jerked it up like that. So wear a face mask when you're doing this. This stuff's really itchy. You know, I'm super bad to not wear safety glasses or any kind of face mask or anything. I just smell to death, you know. Joey's walking around all suited up like this is a, you know, a toxic waste dump or something, and I'm over here bare eyes, bare face, whatever. So that's that. Now let's go over here. Well, I gotta show you the engine. Got stuff spread out everywhere. Kind of been hectic around here lately. So this is a 427. I really don't know who built it, but it has trick flow heads. He's got somebody out there in Colorado that's kind of helping him do some of this stuff. I think Brian Tooley's got a bunch of parts in there from Brian Tooley. But it's got our turbo headers on it. Yeah, he got in one of them group buys way back. So good parts there. But Bob Ett at AEI, he got him to do all the brackets. I told him I wanted the same timing bracket that I have on my car, because I love the way it lays out with the balancer and stuff. Waterman fuel pump, I think this is a 13 gallon per minute, which it can be pulleyed up if we need to, but we shouldn't need to for his power level. Should be plenty on methanol. But nice little bracket here. Like how that goes right to the block. And then we've got the hyperactive wheel, the balancer and everything, and then the fuel pump, of course, will drive off the rear of the balancer off the cog pulley. So up under the car now, it's got our trunk delete in it. We put that in also before he got gone. You can see how that laid out. I know you've seen it in a bunch of videos, but I'll show you again. So it didn't have the wishbone in it. So that has been put in the past week or two. It's been here a little bit longer than that. I think it's been here like 3 weeks, but we put that in a week or two ago. and got everything centered up. So the main difference, this is, like I said, this is the Midwest chassis, Fab 9 stuff. Whenever I got this from Eric originally, he asked me if I wanted the wishbone mount on top of the rear in case we ever went to a wishbone later, and I said, yeah, throw it on there. So this wishbone mount is sideways versus the one we have is up and down. So there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do it that way, and it actually worked out better for this particular setup to have it that way. So this is our standard wishbone kit that you would normally get, the builder kit, which comes with the bar, the tabs, the wishbone itself, and then it would have the little house here, we call it, that mounts to the rear. So one issue that we ran into whenever installing this is the anti-roll bar. So this was already in the car. This is what, whenever we got this set up from Eric, we got the coilovers, we got the rear end, we got the anti-roll bar, we got a panhard bar, we got all that stuff as a package deal. Brakes, you know, the whole 9 yards. So I mounted that anti-roll bar just in a general location because I didn't have anything on top to worry about as far as clearance. But now I have this wishbone here that we're having to consider. So whenever we mounted the wishbone up, we loosened up the coilovers all the way, and we lowered the car all the way down, like putting it where the tires is like up in the fenders. Basically the rear shocks are at full bump, so they are bottomed out as low as they could possibly go. And what happened? The wishbone hit the anti-roll bar. Let me get you a better light here. The wishbone hit the anti-roll bar. Wouldn't let it go to full bump because it was hitting it. So, you know, chances are you're not going to be, you know, slamming it down all the time. You're not going to be at full bump. You're going to extend, and that's it. But in the event that you get on a rough ride or something like that, you don't want your suspension components slamming against each other. So that's one thing that we had to address, but we couldn't do it until we mounted the wishbone, and it has to go where it has to go. So what we did is, with the Midwest chassis anti-roll bar, you've got these little slide tubes here, and they're made where you can kind of, you know, get them mounted and then adjust the thing side to side and kind of line everything up. It's got a bunch of adjustment in it to kind of help you get it centered where it needs to go. So we just took the Sawzall and cut those things off, and then we was able to take the grinder and cut these off as well. You know, slick the tube back up. We ordered some more tubing that was the same size, and just basically repositioned the anti-roll bar. So you can see now it is positioned all the way up against the floor, and it's actually clocked just a little bit forward. So that gives us the most clearance, and that gives us, you know, an extra inch or so of clearance at full bump. The only thing we really had to do is remake our end links, because these end links grew about nearly 2 inches in length whenever we repositioned, and we went ahead and let these things hang all the way, because you want to make sure you can get full extension and the anti-roll bar still have some type of angle to it. You don't want your arms, this light's kind of annoying me here, hang on. You don't want your arms to be pointed straight down, because if they're even close to being straight down, there's a possibility they could flip over and go the other way. Or they'll bind up and your rear end will just stay at full extension and not come back. But we got all that squared away now, but that's just something you have to consider. You gotta look at the big picture. You gotta make sure everything works together. And this is just one thing we had to kind of tweak so everything would work. Show you the rest of the stuff here. That's their short torque arm kit with their cross member and drive shaft loop. So he's got a transmission coming from Advanced Transmissions, Advanced Racing Transmissions. This is a Brian Pickett's deal. He's actually a couple miles down the road from the shop, and he's got the transmission, so we got to get that picked up and get it mated to the engine. And then we've got motor plates over there on the wall, mid plate that's going in it. You've seen the front plate that was already on the engine over there. So we got to just get that stuff bolted up and everything here so we can set the engine in the car. We also have this dime piece here. Y'all know what this is. This is a full carbon front end setup from Mike Kostick. It's also got the carbon top and maybe the carbon hatch. Maybe not. I think we got to still order the carbon hatch. We got to kind of wait on that to see what we're going to do there. But this is the full front end setup, and I've got the front end mounting kit. I've got the Lexan and window frame kit from Innovative. That's over against the wall there. I've got stuff for the brakes. I've got I forget what all else I've got in there, but I've just been kind of ordering things that come to mind, you know, things that we might have to wait on. The Innovative stuff took a couple weeks to get here because I ordered that kind of as soon as he dropped the car off because I didn't want to have to wait on that. But I'm doing a little bit of something every day on it. Been trying to focus efforts on the Jeep here because, like I said, it is a set of door latches away from being done. And I'll just show you a quick overview of it. We got everything mocked up, all the carbon, everything's done in the back. Even got some little safety latches in case the latch there comes unloose from tire shake, and the parachutes you can see are mounted to the hatch. So, but pretty proud of the Jeep. It's just been super long. And that's completely our fault, but I don't think Demon's really been in a super big hurry for it either. But you just gotta spin them. Once they free up though, they'll spin forever. So that's gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to get something started on Mickey's car just to cover everything that, you know, we've done so far, and obviously cover everything we're going to do in the future since we're going to do so much to it and we have so much history with the car. I'll try to get some live footage of some fab stuff like all of the old videos, but to tell you the truth, I've kind of been burned on using music and stuff. You notice my last, you know, half dozen videos haven't had that much music. And that's because every time I use music, even though I pay for the music license through all these different websites, we still get hit with copyright claims. And we usually, by the time the hype of the video is over, that's when we're usually either winning the copyright claim or something, and then we've lost all that opportunity to make the money, or else the people with the music is making our money. And I'm not going to give my money to anybody that I've worked for. So that's just my attitude about it. But one thing before the video is over, I want to show you this little thing. Does anybody know what this is? So my father-in-law, this is not really a toy, but it was something from his childhood that he gave me, that the mount was broke on it, and I drew up this little stand, and I've got it mounted now. I've got it in a vise just so I can turn it with this so it can bolt on his back porch or something like that. But it's got all these little shafts in here, all different gear ratios. And it's got a little fan in here, and it needs a handle. Hope I don't pinch my finger, but check it out. So it's a police siren, which is pretty awesome. There was a guy, a young guy, matter of fact, he probably was only in his 20s. He might have been older than that. He don't look like he was within his 20s, but I had this sitting on my desk in my office, and he come by to talk about us putting a cage in, and I had it face down, and he just randomly looked over there and said, "That's a police siren." And I said, "Yeah, it is." So my father-in-law actually got locked up because him and his friend was going around town pulling people over with this thing back before people had common sense to know who was a cop and who was not, I guess, back when all the old cars looked kind of the same. So pretty neat little thing there. Just thought I'd show you. So until next time, keep watching. See ya.